minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome into it. Hey, welcome. Let's do this thing, man. For a midweek celebration, got plenty to talk about. Make sure to like it out, share it out, leave that comment, break the algorithm. No guests today. We're going to have some fun. You and I chit in the chat, doing our thing for a Wednesday. Hang tight.
Five, four, three, two, one. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Wow, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. It is your Wednesday midweek celebration. Greatest day of the week. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to carpe diem all over the place, right? The post Monday, the pre Friday, however you look at it. It's so great to have you as usual for a Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dude.
That is right, and there is plenty to talk about for sure. By the way, too, we are coming off being able to fill in for the Todd Starnes radio program, the great Todd Starnes, as we got the message this morning asking to jump on the air for him. That was a blast as always. But we've covered a lot of ground. There's so much more to get to, so welcome into it. Broadcasting out of the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas on our flagship radio station. But we are all over the country. So many great radio affiliates across the nation, growing each and every day, doing our thing.
Do it live!
Like we do every single day here on the show. No guests today either. You and I just chit in the chat, man. Yeah, that's it. Staring at each other across the bar, figuring out the world's issues of the day, one issue at a time. We have an update on the Greenland hearing today. If you're not aware, the ambassador to Greenland, or I guess to the U.S. from Denmark, and the Prime Minister of Greenland, both in the United States today, at the White House, or at least near the White House, talking with Vice President J.D. Vance, talking with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Where are we at with that? We have some updates on there. Plus, we have some ridiculous conversation going on with the Supreme Court, some Senate hearings, and a heck of a lot more. So that's where we start off the program today with our
What's Trending Today.
That's right. And I just want to say first and foremost, I think a lot of these conversations that we have, not here on the radio program, but I mean conversations we're having as a society in general, I guess are good, but at the end of the day are really kind of stupid. Let's be honest. We have now a Supreme Court that is hearing an issue about biological sex and gender of individuals. And yes, sex and gender, they're different things, Andy. And you can agree to disagree on that one. But we are now having a Supreme Court, the highest court in the nation, that is hearing an argument about whether dudes should be in girls' sports. That I know that's where we're at in society, and to me, that's hitting a whole new low down here. Andy, they're not men, they're women. No, they're biological males, which means if biology means anything whatsoever, then there's a difference between the two, and we apparently, after 6,000, 200,000 years, based on your fill-in-the-blank ideology of what you believe how long man's been around, then we apparently haven't figured that out yet, and now we have the highest court in the nation trying to make that decision, and that's kind of weird to me. The hearings that we've heard from the attorney at the Supreme Court discussing these issues and the comments from different Supreme Court justices kind of set the stage here.
For the individual girl who does not make the team or doesn't get on the stand for the medal or doesn't make all league, there's a harm there. And I think we can't sweep that aside.
There's no question here that a male who identifies as a female, but it's a male, is being excluded from a female sport. By its nature, that's a sex classification.
All right, so the issue is about sex classification. Apparently, there's a level of sex discrimination if you have a man's league of a sport and then a woman's league of a sport, and a man wants to be part of the woman's league of sport, then therefore there's a sex classification and potentially sex discrimination, when even Sotomayor, the last one that you just heard, admitted that, yeah, it's a man wanting to be a female, but by denying them, then apparently that's really, really bad because that's discrimination.
We're all gonna die because of you!
And that's where we're at in society, and that kind of blows my mind. Now, again, we can have conversation about policy, we can have conversation about social issues, even though social issues are very controversial to have because everybody's got their opinions, a lot of them based on moral values or religious values, and they're very difficult to try and change people's minds on these issues until they've had kind of an internal shift one way or the other to change their opinion on these issues. But this isn't really that. It's really more just common sense. This is really a commonsensical conversation, and it's dumb we even have to have it. Again, all the religious, spiritual beliefs you ever want to, evolution, whatever, that we've had a quote-unquote evolution of the brain of the human being for how many years now, and we haven't figured out the difference between dudes and gals. Like that to me is a major failure. The attorney that was discussing this issue regarding Title IX and the ongoing lawsuit right now with the Supreme Court that they are hearing was answering a question regarding Title IX and what this case is really all about.
States have long assigned students to sports teams by sex. West Virginia is no different. Maintaining separate boys and girls sports teams ensures that girls can safely and fairly compete in school sports. The question today is whether this enduring structure can continue. It can. Title IX permits sex-separated teams. It does so because biological sex matters in athletics in ways both obvious and undeniable. The text, history, context, and structure of the statute, alongside regulations expressly authorizing what West Virginia has done, confirm as much. Respondent says that West Virginia schools can no longer designate teams by looking to biological sex. Instead, schools must place students on sports teams based on their self-identified gender. But that idea turns Title IX, a law Congress passed to protect educational opportunities for girls, into a law that actually denies those opportunities for girls. The court should not embrace that backwards logic. Aside from its problems with Title IX, the decision below constitutionalizes one side's view of a hotly disputed issue. But West Virginia's law does not offend the Equal Protection Clause either. The West Virginia legislature reasonably and rationally defines sex based on biology and acknowledged the physical differences that biology creates. Given those differences, the law satisfies rational basis review.
Yeah, kind of common sense on that front. I want you to think about it from a different angle here. Let's look at it from the political lens for just a moment. Because as we go into, again, election season, midterms right around the corner, we have Democrats trying to set their platform. This is the big kahuna issue for them. They can't run on immigration because they're failing on immigration policy majorly and bigly, as Donald Trump would say, right? So, do you have anything on immigration now?
And I think we're going to make it bigly.
No, of course not. You can't run anything economically because Donald Trump's turning the economy around. You can't run on the efficiency of government with the ongoing investigations of fraud. You can't run on I guess you could try and run on health care. Can't really run on healthcare, though, because healthcare has been a major failure under Obamacare, which is why we're trying to change it. Every policy conversation, the progressive idea, not the party. I'm not really trying to bash the party or do one side or the other here. Ideologically, the process, the system, the agencies, the bureaucrat, the structure of functioning society that we've put in place has been failing pretty dramatically. And the only thing that we're really seeing now for a platform for one side of the political aisle ideologically are the social issues and the victimization. Everybody's a victim. We need super duper special protections for individuals. Here's the crazy part is that we have the pink hat wearing radicals on one side of the aisle that talk about feminism. We talk about equal rights. We talk about, extra protections and all this stuff because we're victims of society if you're not a white alpha male type of individual. If you're not the white male, then you are in some level, whatever degree is the check marks that you have, some level of a victim within society, right? No, we know that's not true because I believe everybody is equal. We have equal opportunity, not equal access or not equal outcomes. But we have equal opportunity, which is what conservatives try to promote, right? But because you're a woman, then you're somehow a victim of society. And if that's the case, that's why we created things like Title IX. And Title IX was a way to say, we're going to protect women in an arena like athletics to where you can have your own scholarships, you can have your own competition, so men just don't go in and dominate, and you're completely irrelevant in the situation. We're protected. We're slicing out a portion of the world for you to dominate and do your thing, baby, because that's what it's all about. And that's a big win. That's a big win there. And then they say, under the Biden administration, we see the reversal of, we're going to still protect Title IX, but we're going to accept others who self-identify as a woman that biologically are not, but they see themselves as for whatever reason, so we're going to now accept them in. AKA, all the protections that you fought for in the past to try and protect women are now just being erased by dudes that want to pretend to be women to go in and just wipe out all of the progress that's been made. If you are a voter, which most of you are, but if you're a voter specifically on that side of the aisle, you'd be scratching your head a little bit, being like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Say what?
That being said, on the same front, outside of the Supreme Court hearing, there's also a Senate committee hearing that was going on today where Senator Josh Hawley from the state of Missouri was asking a question from a doctor. Let me repeat, a doctor. And this is where we start challenging the validity of actually having a doctor's license or a practicing doctor in the nation if you can't answer a simple question that Congress is trying to ask you.
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics. So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
Can men get
I take care
pregnant?
of many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
Can men get pregnant?
Again, as I'm saying,
Okay.
Let me just-
okay, so apparently not going to answer the question, can men get pregnant? That would be a resounding no. N-O, no. I identify, it doesn't matter what you identify as. You can identify as whatever you want to, biologically, reality-wise. It doesn't help. Here's the thing, Democrats, progressives, radicals on the other side of the aisle, help me help you. I want a progressive, and by progressive I mean productive conversation, moving society better in a better direction, moving us further as humanity, expanding our minds. Remember back in the 70s and the 80s when we used to have these futuristic movies and these books about by the year 2030 that we'd be in flying cars and that we'd be traveling space and that we'd have this AI and all this crazy technology and we'd have all these really cool things. Now we're battling and debating on what a gender is, and you're not a woman any longer, you're a birthing person. And we've degressed in society. In fact, I saw a really great meme, a couple years ago, about how the ancients, the ancient Egyptians, everybody, they had their hieroglyphics, they had their symbols because they didn't have a language to write. So they had symbols to try to explain what they were seeing. Now we've gone back to that with the emoji on the cell phone. And that should be a telltale sign of how we're devolving as humanity instead of increasing our involvement to learn more things and try to control better of our surroundings. That's kind of a big issue, but we're coming to a front here. We're coming to a head, and society's going to have to make a decision. We can either bicker about these really, really, really dumb conversations that mean absolutely nothing because they're so stupid to even talk about, or we can start removing them and have productive dialogue and conversation about policy differences on economic policy or foreign policy or marijuana or whatever else that we want to talk about. Those could be conversations we have. Instead, we're stuck driveling about this stuff, and it's really unfortunate. Again, progressives, help me help you. Let's have a conversation here. And my prediction for the year...
Andy's prediction.
My prediction is the fact that we're going to see the end of the woke confusion in society soon. Not by everybody, because they're going to just double down and just, dig their heels in the sand, and they're just going to try and argue just for the sake of arguing. But the majority of Americans already reject this premise. The majority of Americans don't want to hear about this issue any longer. And again, the fact that the U.S. Supreme Court even has to do a hearing is concerning. But if the Supreme Court makes a decision and it's very resounding, then maybe they'll let it go and move on. At least many of them will. And another shot on the policy agenda for what the midterms may be shaping up to look like with what's going to be talked about on the campaign trail. All right, we got a lot to talk about for sure. It's a midweek celebration. It's a Wednesday. It's the Voice of Reason. Lots more coming up. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone? We put the power of the universe at our fingertips. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
When reason meets radio. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, just welcome back into the program for a Wednesday. Greatest day of the week, my friends, right? We see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can carpe diem all over this place, which is what it's all about, and get rid of the ridiculous conversation in society and move forward with progress, productivity, and rational, commonsensical thought about the world. I know it's minority today, but by golly, we're going to do our best to bring those back. I want to tell you about my friends over at Lean. I have been taking Lean since January 1, beginning of the year. I feel great. I already have a lot of energy, and I feel even more energy since I've been taking it, and it's been fantastic. But if you're looking to try and keep on with your New Year's resolutions, get back in shape, do some exercise, lose a little bit of weight, by the time that the average person hits 60 years old, they've lost and regained several hundred pounds. Doctors call it weight cycling, and half of Americans do it, and it's really bad for you. When you lose the 10 pounds or so, you usually end up putting it back on, plus maybe a little bit more. It's super tough on your body, and it's probably leaving you really frustrated. Don't be in that position. Bottom line, most people need help losing weight, and here's a great way to do it with non-prescription Lean that was created by doctors. Lean is an oral supplement, not an injection, and the science is really impressive. It helps maintain healthy blood sugar, it helps control appetite and cravings, and it helps burn fat by converting the fat into energy. All that sugar that you ate during the holidays, the cookies, everything, it converts it to energy, and burning fat keeps the weight off. If you want to lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace and keep it off, add Lean to your diet and your exercise lifestyle. Get 20% off right now when you use our promo code REASON. That's REASON at TakeLean.com. That's promo code REASON at TakeLean.com. By the way, as we speak about one of the committee hearings, we had the Senate committee hearing today talking about, can men get pregnant? That was the question from Senator Josh Hawley. We also on the House side have the Oversight Committee that's been going on multiple days now regarding the Epstein issue, the Epstein investigations. How much are we actually getting out of that? Where, by the way, none of the Clintons, Bill or Hillary, showed up for their hearings when they were called to do so in front of the Oversight Committee, probably thinking it's not really important for them. But the House Oversight Committee said, yeah, that's not going to fly. We're moving forward with this.
We're going to hold both Clintons in criminal contempt of Congress. We believe that because this subpoena was issued in a bipartisan fashion, the Democrats acted the day that the subpoenas were voted on in the subcommittee like they wanted the Clintons to come. Because they at that time, if you go back, they were wanting me to subpoena the estate, which I did. We subpoenaed the estate and got all the documents, everything. That was what the victims asked. That's what the Democrats asked. I think that's what the American people wanted. We subpoenaed the estate, got 100% of the documents. I have subpoenaed the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi for the documents, which they are producing. Now, we don't like the speed. We all wish the documents would come in quicker, but we've gotten tens of thousands of pages of documents from the Department of Justice. And remember, they made a big document drop, and the Democrats cried foul because they said they didn't.
Demanded redactions.
Right, they wanted more redactions.
Yeah, so, I mean, the redactions are still there in some portions. We're releasing as much as possible. I know this is kind of the overbearing cloud over the Trump administration, maybe the one stain that we've seen in the most productive and most successful administration in modern American history. This is probably the biggest stain that we've seen so far as we look towards transparency, trying to bring more transparency, get out the corruption, clean out the dirty closet, clean out the skeletons that are in government right now. It's been a work in progress. There are still many behind the scenes that are fighting tooth and nail to stop all of this from happening, but we're getting there, and I'm optimistic that we're at least seeing progress. It's one of those where you're not going to get everything at once, but if you can see progress being done, then you're happy and you just kind of sit back idly and wait for more of it to come out. That's kind of where we're at with the Epstein files. I know people want it, and we wanted it on day one, and then Trump kind of pushed back a little bit. And I understand why. He was so focused on so many other agenda policy issues. He was just like, what are we doing wasting our time here? We need to be focusing on the big wins that we've had. And he's done a good job at re-steering the attention for the American populace, but we still want information. The Oversight Committee doing that, frustrated about the rollout, but now criminal contempt of Congress for the Clintons. We'll see where we go from there. Lots more coming up.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hoosier Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hoosier Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosier-holic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosier-holics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hoosier Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with The Voice of Reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did two guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
I think so long as the Republican Party and the Trump administration is using ICE to attack American citizens and shoot mothers in the face, I'm not willing to have a conversation with them about any other bad faith attempts to terrorize U.S. citizens.
Wow. Okay. So AOC, our favorite person here on this program by far, right?
I am told this is a garbage disposal.
Yeah. As long as we support ICE agents shooting mothers in the face, then of course that's where. By the way, they're under investigation for trying to declare this as a murder because you can't use those terms. The View tried to use those terms. Democrat electeds try to use that term. You can't do that unless it's actually been decided in court that it was an actual murder. So that's not really a good way to make that type of, it doesn't work that way. So you got to be careful with the wording, but apparently they don't care, man. They're just going to say whatever they want to because by golly, we're not working. We're not even going to chat with Republicans until they admit that it was murder. That's not true. By the way, if you want to check out more on the program, you can check out our website, HooserReason.com. We are getting ready for our newsletter to come out again the first Monday of February, like it does every month. Going to HooserReason.com. And, of course, the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Big news going on today.
What's trending today?
I don't know where I want to go here because there's so many different directions. Can we go here just for a minute? Because I am a little bit devastated. I have been really optimistic, really excited about this, but apparently the conversation with the United States and Greenland and Denmark did not pan out the way that we wanted it to. Donald Trump is adamant, man. He has seen the tunnel vision. He is laser focused. He has now put a price tag of $700 billion on the purchasing of Greenland potentially, and they had a meeting. Vice President J.D. Vance, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, meeting with the ambassador to the U.S. from Denmark and the Prime Minister of Greenland today about potentially where we could work together. Didn't really happen very well. It didn't go too well. Denmark making a statement on the United Nations floor where they've been kind of frustrated with the situation.
Dear President Trump.
Yeah.
Listen very carefully.
Okay.
Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country, It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, off. Når det er sagt,
That's where they've stood for the most part. Now, Donald Trump didn't care, man. He continues to troll. He continues to take it to another level of just trying to figure out a way to negotiate. And I got to wonder, if anybody is capable of creating a deal, it would be this administration, right? The real estate Mongol that's a deal maker, Vice President J.D. Vance, who's very smooth with his talking, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's done astronomical gains in the world for global peace and for negotiations and for trade deals. That team has been an absolute rock star. Now, outside of the Denmark statement on the United Nations floor, there's been a little bit more, I guess, civil conversation, especially after today, where they chatted to decide where we could moving forward, and it was in a little bit different context, but essentially the same type of response.
And now the situation is entirely different, and of course we have to respond to this. The big difference is whether that must lead to a situation where U.S. acquire Greenland, and that is absolutely not necessary. I mean, we have the long-lasting diplomatic relation, the longest-lasting diplomatic relation with U.S. that any U.S. ally has, 225 years in a row. And we have a perfect framework which could be used. And therefore, to answer your question, even though we wasn't so successful that we reached, a conclusion where our American colleagues said, "Oh, sorry, it was totally misunderstanding. We gave up on our ambitions." There's clearly a disagreement. We agreed that it makes sense to try to sit down on a high level to explore whether there is possibilities to accommodate the concerns of the president, while we at the same time respect the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark.
All right, so that was a little bit more of a suave or political statement of, we're not going to sell Greenland. It's not going to happen. And the U.S. obviously still wants it, so we still have that disagreement. However, we did come up with ideas on ways that we can work better together. We can beef up security in that area. In fact, there's been a beefing up of security already. So for those that don't know, and he was talking about that with the clip right before we went into what we played here, that there is a U.S. military base in Greenland. And it used to be pretty beefed up. According to him, he said there was roughly at one point 10,000 U.S. soldiers in Greenland. Now there's roughly 200. So that was a decision that we've made over the years to back off the number of soldiers in the nation of Greenland. We heard from a Danish broadcaster earlier this morning on Wednesday that said that there has been now a movement of troops from Denmark, the Danish special forces or military or whatever they call themselves, to move soldiers into Greenland. No, I don't know what that's about. Apparently, the trolling that Donald Trump has made about potentially invading and taking over Greenland, maybe that didn't fly too well with him. There's only two options. I mean, either there's been a massive increase in polar bears attacking citizens, which is true and does happen, by the way, in Greenland, or they're worried about an invasion of Donald Trump, which is not going to happen. But could you imagine for just a moment? We have Venezuela, where we didn't invade, but we did take out somebody like Nicolas Maduro. We did abstract him. We have Iran, where we haven't invaded, but we did bomb their nuclear site, and we're watching very closely about what they're doing with the revolution, the slaughter of their people, thousands upon thousands of people that are potentially being slaughtered in Iran right now. We're creating peace deals left and right all over the world, the most peace-driven president really in modern American history. And then we turn around and invade Greenland? That would be wild. Now, we're getting conflicting reports right now. We're hearing from the Prime Minister of Greenland, where she was there and made the statement as well that we have no interest in being part of the United States. We have the Ambassador of Denmark. We have the Prime Minister of Denmark. All of the governmental leaders that are saying we really don't want to sell and we have no interest in selling Greenland to the United States. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is like, we're going to do this. And according to independent journalists, what's his name, Nick Shirley, the guy that broke all the fraud up in Minneapolis, he was up in Greenland, and apparently he said that 99% of all the people that he chatted with in Greenland were actually in support of actually joining the United States.
Say what?
Now, you can take that with a grain of salt. It's an independent journalist. He only did a select survey of a few individuals. But according to the reports we're seeing, it sounds like there might be a differentiating, or at least a difference between the people of Greenland and the leadership of Greenland and Denmark, who's overseeing it, on whether they should actually be joining the United States or not. So I don't know where to place it on it. I don't know whether this is the biggest deal or not. I don't know why Donald Trump's so laser focused on it, other than maybe it's the unreachable, it's the untouchable, so therefore he wants it because he's a real estate Mongol that wants to make deals. I don't really know what the motive is here with the potential resources, raw materials, everything that Greenland has to offer. And other than the fact that it would be really, really cool to have it, and I can't wait to move up there when we become the 51st state of the United States with the nation of Greenland. But I don't know how much further he's willing to press on it with them giving us a hard no so many times. Kind of interesting. All right.
What's trending today?
That being said, I want to use that to move over to Iran for just a moment as well. We have gotten an update, if you're not aware, from the spokesperson, the foreign minister for the nation of Iran, sitting down with Bret Baier on Fox News to give an update on the slaughtering that we are seeing, or at least getting rumors about, after the going dark shutting out of the internet and the military being activated against the protesters in the nation right now.
There are reports, sir, that anywhere from 2,500 to more than 12,000 protesters in various cities have been killed by the regime. How many people have been killed?
I have to tell you the story. When terrorist elements led from outside, entered these, protests and started to shoot, police forces, police officers.
Okay, I want to stop right there for just a moment. Obviously, you can hear it. He's saying that there are outside forces that are shooting police officers in Iran. I want to be very clear here. The people of Iran do not have the right to keep and bear arms. They don't have a Second Amendment in Iran. There are no guns of the rebellion in the nation. Now, they are burning federal buildings. They are burning government buildings in the nation of Iran. They're trying to topple the Ayatollah. But they do not have firearms unless it's firearms that they've taken from security officials in the nation when they've raided certain towns and certain government buildings. This individual is saying that they have guns and that there is an outside force, a military outside force, that's causing all the issues, and that who they're going after militarily is not the citizens that are protesting, but the outside forces, the guerrilla warfare that's going on within the country.
And security forces. And there were terrorist cells. They came in. They used Daesh-style terrorist, operations. They got police officers, burned them alive, they beheaded them, and they started shooting at police officers and also to the people. So as a result, for 3 days, we had, in fact, fighting against terrorists and not, with the protesters. It was completely a different story.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that one? Anybody believe that one? Don't know that I necessarily do. Maybe there's some forces helping and aiding the revolution happening right now, and in fact, the narrative from the other side of the aisle, which is why the pink hat-wearing flags for freeing Palestine, Judaism evil, Israel's evil, Jews are bad, whatever, that was going on for the last couple of years with the Free Palestine movement, according to them, why they haven't been supporting the revolution in Iran right now is because it's been led, apparently, by the Zionists. It's been led by the Jews. It's been led by Israel wanting to topple the nation so that way they get a friendlier country next to them. So it's all the Jews that are causing the ruffling of feathers. It's not the actual people that want to be treated as, well, human or something. I don't know. I'm so confused.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, DC's broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, We believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
When it comes to something like sausage, I know you want the best quality, the best flavor, and the best in services. Andy Hooser here for J&S Smoked Snacks. And it's time for you to try their handcrafted sausage, made in small batches for freshness and seasoned with their signature blends. You won't find anything else like it. Make sure to try their one-of-the-kind dill pickle sausage made with real pickles, or spice things up with my favorite, the jalapeno cheddar sausage. Taste the difference today at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
America's safe space for common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset, but that's just gotten to me, some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped. They're not going to have an execution, which a lot of people were talking about for the last couple of days. Today was going to be the day of execution.
All right, so that's President Trump. He was saying that earlier today in the White House. By the way, when he was doing a bill signing, what was the bill signing? The bill signing was to say that whole milk is now healthy again for kids to use, which is awesome. You know, I haven't heard the term of whole milk in a long time. I love whole milk. That's what I drink, but no one talks about it. It's like one of those that under the radar always people are like, I like my 2%. I like my soy milk. Well, I don't know how many people like the soy milk, but they pretend, or almond milk. How do you get milk out of an almond? Can you explain that to me? Yeah, sorry. That doesn't really work. But nonetheless, whole milk is now cool again after the signing of the bill from President Trump. But he said that according to him, the killings in Iran have stopped, and he'll keep an eye on it. And if they continue on, maybe he'll do some action, maybe supply some weapons to some of the rebellion. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I know that most people, they don't care to necessarily talk about foreign policy issues because it's all the way over there. It's all the way down. And that's why we're seeing this divide in the MAGA movement right now. America first, foreign intervention, how involved do we get in foreign affairs? I know that conversation's prevalent because a lot of people are just like, it's all the way over there. We don't really care about some of this. The problem is it is important because it does affect us in a global economy, whether we want to recognize it or not. It is really there. But the young generation, they have their own unique view on it. With people that have been more connected than ever before through internet, through social media, you can essentially talk to anybody around the world at any time. It's an interesting world to live in, but yet the younger generation is doing something really different. This has been a growing trend for a while. I saw a headline earlier today.
What's trending today?
Regarding the fact that the vast majority, or at least a larger majority than before, of the Gen Zers and younger now say that they do not affiliate with one political party or another, Republican or Democrat, that the independent, that the nonpartisan or whatever individual is growing with these younger generations. And I get it. The problem that we have is that we still have a two-party system, and I still do not see that going away anytime soon. And they can have different views on different policy, but at the same time, there are political parties that kind of define where they stand as a party, and then if you support, for the majority of the time, actually support one political party or another, then you can support them by becoming a registered member or even just voting for them in the election. But more and more younger individuals are becoming unaffiliated with any type of political party. What does that mean for foreign policy? That means foreign policy right now is really up in the air on where these different political parties stand to try to win over these young Jenners. Because right now that's not the case. And these elections coming up this year really do have consequences. In fact, we had Ilhan Omar make a statement today saying that if Democrats gain control of Congress again, this is what's going to happen.
We will not stop fighting until we achieve real justice and accountability. That must begin with impeaching Kristi Noem and ensuring no federal agent can act as a judge, jury, and executioner on our streets. It must also include full and transparent investigation and legal action against ICE. While we grieve, our community, as always, has shown up for one another with love.
The action. Sorry, it's not her accent. It just reminds me of like something that it's the action. It's the governor of California. It's the action that's there. So if Democrats get the power again in Congress, agenda numero uno apparently is to impeach Donald Trump, impeach Kristi Noem, impeach Robert F. Kennedy Jr., impeach Kash Patel, impeach Pam Bondi. That has been the goal of Congress since the beginning. That is the platform as we started off the show on where they stand as a political party, what the campaign is going to look like going into the midterms. Apparently that's it. That's the plan. Impeachment, impeachment, and impeachment. And if you want to do that, you can. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be effective, but you can try it. all that you want to. For the young generation that's nonpartisan, that is not affiliated with one political party or not, I'm not asking you to join a political party. I'm asking you to look at the political ideology that you stand for and the party that most resembles that. You're never going to agree with a party or an individual 100% of the time. I don't want you to join and agree with somebody or a party 100% of the time. But which party has a bigger umbrella and which party is out for blood, that's something for you to decide. And that does it for us today. Back at it again tomorrow for a pre-Friday celebration, trying to expand the craniums of the young generation one day at a time. It is The Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. We'll see you back on the radio soon. Bye. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own Voice of Reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.